Making oneself a difficult target in society has nothing to do with how tough, how big, how strong, how muscular, or how intimidating you look. Walking around with confidence requires an individual to actually have confidence. This confidence is nothing that can be faked. It's a characteristic, if you will, that any viable predator with an ounce of sociopathy can sense and smell on an intuitive level. So faking it is not something an individual can do. Walking around with a scowl on your face, most people don't even have that demeanor, and as a matter of fact, unfortunately and sadly speaking, the people who are targeted in our societies are not the people who generally look like that, and we're not going to ask the entire level crew of humanity to get out there, pump some weights, hit pads supremely hard, and get some tats. You know, that's a very small percentage of the general population who could potentially aspire to become that character, but generally speaking, that's not who we are. And so confidence isn't something that can be contrived. Becoming a difficult target, a less desirable target is what we're talking about, not a hard target. We're talking about understanding the behavior, the characteristics that attracts certain violent types of predators in society, be it for a crime of opportunity, or be it a relative for that matter, or anything in between in the antisocial violent world. And in order to be able to do that, we have to understand that behavior. We have to understand how to achieve real confidence through awareness, through understanding intuition, through understanding a variety of different ways that what predators look for, and not becoming what they look for. Do not want to become a part of the gene pool of victims of society. We want to know what these people are hunting, so we do not become the hunted. For example, one of the things that an individual can do to make themselves a more difficult target that will exude honest confidence out of them because they're not faking it is play two specific games. They're awareness games that any human being can play once they step out of their house, and all it requires is for A, not to have your ears blocked, so you might want to remove the speakers from them, and B, not to obstruct your vision, so not to wear a hoodie that kind of takes away about 25-30% of your peripherals. If you're capable of doing that, the first thing you want to do as an auditory game, as listening, is just listen for sounds that are above normal decibel level that are going on around you, a car honking or dog barking, for example, a child screaming, and acknowledge that sound and give it a name. It's a very simple game. It's called the Give It a Name game, and that is something a predator doesn't want. They don't want somebody aware of their environment. They can't get within 10 feet from you if you're walking around in that fashion. Why? Because, well, you'll catch them coming. The other sense could potentially challenge an individual. If you fake your confidence, if you walk like a tough person, if you have a scowl on your face, if you're trying to intimidate other people, that could be taken as a challenge by a potential predator. You don't want to challenge a predator or threaten a predator. They're going to take the threat as a challenge anyway. It's very it provokes an individual. The idea here is not to provoke. The idea here is I don't even want the predator to see me. What do I want them to see? Well, the others, the ones that, well, don't have the awareness. Sadly, I can't help the world. We're trying with all of this stuff, but if it comes down to me and anybody else out there that I don't know, I would rather it be somebody else. So I'm going to take my precautions and walk around and be aware of my environment. The secondary game is a visual one. Tons of stuff happens in our peripherals. You can't look at everything. It's insane. There's too much stuff happening. But if it's coming towards you, glance at it. That's all it takes. So if you're paying attention to things in your peripheral and something's coming at you and you glance at it, if it's your threat, your brain will actively react much faster. Why? Well, look, a threat. Rather found out at 50 feet than find out when they're right here. The best people in self-defense, if you will, the experts, are those that are really good students of human nature.